In the criminal justice system, well, okay, we all know that courtroom dramas can be emotional and full of high stakes. Netflix has released its Italian original series Il Processo, or for those of us in the United States, The Trial. Bum bum. A prosecutor works the case of a 17-year-old girl who's found dead, and the clues point to someone with a ton of resources. The mystery and the drama builds as they try to uncover the truth. In this drama, it really surprised me because there is this stereotypical Italian, uber-passionate, over-dramatic, larger-than-life, screaming, yelling, crying, using big hand movements, all of these things, and inside the courtroom. Now, I always thought that these were truly just stereotypes, but as I see them even in this drama, it leads me to wonder, well, is that really how it is, or is it still, again, done larger than life because it's a production and because it's a drama? Either way, it was kind of jarring to watch inside a courtroom because all of the courtroom dramas that we typically see, I mean, you see sometimes where they yell or they get passionate, but that's in just key moments at a climax, not just that's the delivery. And that happened more than once, and it wasn't the climax. It was just kind of, that was the conversation. I mean, these people are passionate about what they do. Many of the characters turn out to be really just strangers to us because there's not a lot of character development that goes on in the series. Now, some of it we do have it eked out over little bits of time over each episode. And the main players we get a little bit more, but still not a ton. And it was kind of weird that you have a couple of main players in this and we just know surface level, and barely even that. I mean, only based on behavior. And I would like more, especially with the number of episodes we had and the drama that is supposed to be in there. I wanted to be more connected to the characters. And I could love the characters or hate the characters, but at least I would feel one way or the other about them. But because there wasn't a ton of development, some of them where I think I was really supposed to not like them, I was just kind of ambivalent towards them. There are also some weird and awkward time jumps and edits throughout this where we just, like a scene cuts and then boom, we're into another one and there's no context for what's going on, and then that ends and away we go again. For the most part, the series is really easy to follow, at least story-wise, because we have two timelines going on predominantly. There is the present time, which is where the trial is happening, and then it will flash back to key points, whether it's interviews or investigations, or even just happenings based on testimony. But every time they do that, you get these big title screens to tell you when it is in relation to time. And I do like how they did the testimony, because as the courtroom testimony is going on, you would have the dramatization played out for us on screen, but now the prosecutor or the defense attorney are there in the narrative watching the action happen. And so that was just kind of a cool take on that. I don't believe that I've seen that happen before in any kind of drama. And I enjoyed that way that they put the characters back into the story, even though they weren't there to begin with. Our main character, Elena, she looks like she's constantly on the verge of a mental breakdown or maybe even death. I mean, you get that because of part of the story, and it works for the most part because of just the stress that she's under and just all of the circumstances that come about because of what the story is. But we also see her that way kind of at the very beginning, and there's no context for it, and so it does seem a little bit odd in that way. She's kind of also our protagonist, and she's not really likable. I mean, she's okay. She's not despicable. She's not somebody that you root against, but it's just hard to root for her also because I didn't find myself connecting with her, and I think maybe that's because that we didn't get a lot of development. I didn't get time to really endear myself to her, to have her just be this person where like, oh my gosh, I care so much about what you think, what you're going through, why you're doing this, and all of your passion, and it makes me want to be with you all the way through the series. Now, this is 8 episodes long. Each of them are about 45-ish minutes, and honestly, it took till episode 6 for me to get really invested in what was going on. I mean, at that point, the drama started to kick up and the intrigue started to build, and I was now beginning to get a little bit more invested. I mean, I stuck it out through episodes 1 through 5 because I was just kind of curious. I wanted to know, well, where is this going? Who did it? How did all this come about? What is going to be the outcome of the entire case? But once episode 6 happened, it did begin to capture me more. Now, that doesn't mean that it was spellbinding, because it wasn't. Even through the end, the finale, I was just kind of, okay, that was all right. Now what am I going to watch next? And when it is an outstanding series, when it's something that just sucks you in, that you can't let go of, that you just want more, you're like, oh my gosh, I need more. I can't believe I have to wait however long to get another episode. Or, hey, I just finished 5 minutes ago. Is it too soon to start back at the beginning and watch it again? I mean, there are some of those series where you finish it and you got to start it again because it's just so good. This one, not so much. The pace of the first 5 episodes, too, is pretty slow. I mean, even through the 6, 7, and 8, it still is kind of meandering at times. Honestly, I really do believe that they probably could have cut out one entire episode and they wouldn't have missed anything. That we could have just trimmed off a little bit of each episode, shore them up a little bit, make them a little bit tighter, and then the story becomes better. It becomes maybe a little bit more urgent. I don't know, because I know the outcome of the story and I know how they wrapped it up, and I'm still kind of, all right. And this is an okay watch if you're looking for a courtroom drama, especially something that's fairly recent or new that you haven't seen before. Or maybe even just because you're curious about how Italian courtrooms work, even if this is fictionalized. Now, I would love to know anybody that is in Italy or who's been to Italy and is familiar with the legal system. How well does this translate into reality? I mean, is it just larger than life? Are they really playing it for all of the drama that they could muster? Or is it kind of spot on? Because it is a different process than what we have in the United States. And so I did find it interesting from that point. And again, the series overall, it's okay. It's not a terrible watch, but it's just not something that I really want to revisit again, or that I was so glued to my seat that I had to continually binge watch it episode through episode. It took me a couple days to finish the 8 episodes. There is sex, nudity, profanity, and violence. I give Il Processo, or The Trial, depending on what country you're in and how you search it on Netflix, 2.5 out of 5 couches. So what is a good courtroom drama that you can recommend to me? And you cannot use 12 Angry Men. That one is brilliant, and I've already taken that. Ha! Well, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.